Think of the wacky adventures we will have.
We're gonna take a plunge now. We're gonna dive right in now. We're gonna have it all. We don't believe in maybe.
It's the Jake Snake Show, starring Jacob Elliott.
Wow. Alright everybody, welcome to the Jake Snake Show. Now, I know our normal viewing audience usually watches for a little comedic relief, but tonight we're going to talk about something serious. Okay? So let's get to our main focus. AIDS in Africa. 20% of deaths in sub-Saharan Africa are caused by AIDS. 1 in 5 deaths caused by AIDS. Not to mention the 24.7 million people in sub-Saharan Africa diagnosed with HIV, which is 71% of the global population diagnosed with HIV. This problem is often overlooked, as many large headlines fail to convey the catastrophic effects AIDS has on these African countries. And the first step towards making a change is making sure all information is out on the table. So let's start with the origin of this disease. AIDS, or the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a weakness in the body's ability to fight viruses, with roots in the human immunodeficiency virus, commonly known as HIV. The origin of HIV is highly debated. It is most likely related to the simian immunodeficiency virus, or SIV, which is indigenous to monkeys and chimpanzees in Western and Central Africa. This means that SIV must have crossed species and evolved into HIV, then infecting humans. The counter to this argument is that chimps are rarely infected by SIV, and therefore HIV may have come from a third, unidentified source. Regardless of how HIV has evolved, it has spread at an alarming rate. Factors that allow this fast growth rate include international air travel, where people are confined in close spaces, the blood industry, where blood donations and transfers are nearly impossible to keep perfectly clean, and narcotics, where dirty illegal drug needles are shared like physics homework. Different groups such as young women, children, sex workers, men who have sex with men, and drug users have different AIDS and HIV rates. The most vulnerable of these groups is young women, as 4 in 10 new HIV infections occur in young women. Sex workers also have disproportionately high rates of HIV, as about 20% of sex workers carry this virus compared to a 3.9% global rate. Today, I'm going to give you an inside look at the devastating effects that AIDS has on the affected, as the growing concentration of AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa is a large cause for concern. Let's send it over to Jared, who has a tear-jerking story about a young Tanzanian boy named Gilbert who has recently been diagnosed with HIV.
I will remember you. Will you remember me?
At only 7 years old, a small Tanzanian boy named Gilbert Michael lost his mother to AIDS. Abandoned by his father, Gilbert went to live with his elderly grandmother. When Gilbert's health started to noticeably deteriorate, a neighbor advised his aunt to get him tested for HIV.
Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for.
Gilbert was diagnosed HIV positive, but his aunt dared not to share the results with him.
I'm so tired, I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how I feel so much, I cannot say a word.
After a few weeks of medication, his health improved.
I told my grandmother I was cured. I argued I no longer needed the pills as I was doing so well, but she insisted I keep taking them.
Sometimes Gilbert acted like he was taking the medicine, but threw it away once his aunt wasn't looking.
You're screaming inside, oh, but it can't be.
Because Gilbert started getting sick again, his aunt suspected he had stopped taking the medicine. One day, she hid and caught him tossing the pills.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories.
It was at this point, when he was 9 years old, that Gilbert's family decided to tell him his HIV status. Remembering his mother's death, Gilbert was frightened. He did not fully understand HIV and continued taking his antiretroviral medication sporadically. But Gilbert's understanding of HIV and adherence to treatment changed dramatically when he visited a treatment clinic in Nyangao Hospital. There, Gilbert learned about serious turns that HIV can make one's life take. He exchanged his own experiences with those of other HIV victims.
I look forward to sharing my experiences at the hospital, and I learned my role in maintaining my health. Since then, I have not missed my clinic appointments, and I never skip my medicine. Neither my aunt nor my grandmother has to remind me of my appointment. I do this all by myself. I know when I skip taking medicine, I will get sick, and my ability to fight other infections will be damaged.
Now, join me in welcoming two representatives from PEPFAR, a governmental organization working to fight AIDS in these sub-Saharan African countries.
Hey, how's it going, J Snake?
Truly an honor to be in front of all these people.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Of course, it's my honor. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Well, we're from PEPFAR, and PEPFAR stands for the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. And so basically, like you were saying, it's just the U.S.'s plan to stop AIDS in the world.
Fantastic.
So, PEPFAR is currently managed by the U.S. Global AIDS Coordinator, currently Deborah Birx. She is appointed by the President and approved by the Senate, and she deals with the U.S.'s response to HIV/AIDS epidemic all around the world.
My viewing audience out here, and myself included, give us a general overview. What's your guys' goals? What's going on with your program?
All right, so we as PEPFAR, we try to initiate a 5-step plan. All right, we're trying to ultimately rid AIDS completely in this world. It's a huge epidemic, huge problem, just terrible things going on, and we're really just trying to eliminate all that. So through this 5-step plan, we try to focus our resources where we need them most. All right, so in this world, we have the resources, we have the intelligence, we have the medicine, and everything we need to treat AIDS and HIV and to cure people. We just need to focus those resources where people need them most. So in step 2, we're really focusing on smart investments and putting our money where it counts, where we can get the biggest return on our investment and help the most people for the least amount of, for the least price. And then step 3, we're focusing on productive coordination and working with others, working with all different countries, all different people, different boards, and really trying to solve the same problem. We're all fighting AIDS. It's not just the African countries. We're a huge part of it. Europe's a huge part of it. Everyone needs to help where we can.
I mean, yeah, communication is really key here. Communication is big.
Mm-hmm. Step 4 of our plan really deals with working with the country that we are in and our clients and the people who are really affected by HIV and this AIDS epidemic. So we really want to have this smooth connection to where our doctors and our medical staff can really get into the country effectively, help the most people possible, and save as many lives as we can. And then step 5, we're really working to promote, protect human rights.
Yeah, I mean, with this human right part, it's not like we're just stopping AIDS. I mean, we're doing more than that. It's giving different people a voice, because this AIDS affects millions of people. Like, rape is a big part of this too, and we're even working to stop that. That also ties into the human rights thing.
Wow, I mean, this sounds like a great plan. I love everything that's going on here. Can you guys give me an example? Give me some real facts. Let me know what's going on here. How has this worked out?
Yeah, I can tell you about like our last year's stats, 2015. So last year was a really great year for us, really powerful. So like we helped 68.2 million people get testing and counseling for HIV and AIDS.
So, it is great how we've tested over 68 million people, but there are so many more people living in Africa who we haven't been able to help yet. And ultimately, our goal is to help every single person with HIV and AIDS and treat all of them so that we can ultimately eliminate this whole epidemic completely.
And that's really a testament to what you guys stand for, because you don't just look at the fact that you've helped so many people and be okay with that. The fact that you guys are see the bigger picture here and are ready to help the wider population and try and help as many people as possible is what really stands out for you guys, and that's why I invited you here to be on my show today. So I really appreciate the mindset that you guys have.
Exactly. Thank you. Again, we appreciate being on the show, of course. Also, I mean, keep going with the stats thing. We've helped out of those 68.2 million. 14.7 of those million have been pregnant women receiving testing, and it's just starting early, starting right away, trying to stop this AIDS in early life. We've also helped 5.5 million orphans receive support and care. Like we were saying before, it's not always just about AIDS, the disease, but just helping people.
And with that group that you had together there, the pregnant women and the orphans, it's like I said before, it's really a testament to the culture that's taking place in sub-Saharan Africa. The number of rapes that result in unplanned pregnancies, and which then leads to the orphans, is what we really want to see addressed, because it's such a big problem. And the fact that these AIDS cases are being addressed in these two groups will really help to prevent this other
cycle. Yeah, I mean, it really is a vicious cycle that's going on there, and we're doing everything we can to stop it.
So as of right now, there is no cure for HIV and AIDS, but we have been able to suppress the symptoms of 9.5 million people in the world we live in today. That accounts for almost 2/3 of all treatment that patients have gotten. About 15 million people have received antiretroviral treatment, and about 37 million people live in this world today with HIV and AIDS. So there's still about 20 million people that we need to access and that we need to help.
Yeah, I mean, one of the stats that I'm most proud of PEPFAR is that we have trained 190,000 new healthcare workers, and so it's like we're able to build into the community and stop it at its source.
These people help more people who help more people. So through the training of new workers, we are really able to build into the community and join one another against this fight against AIDS. We're all able to come together and really help these people in need.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. I'm sure our audience is thankful that you guys came and gave us a little information about yourselves, and we can see all the impact you guys have had in the AIDS community. So it's been a pleasure.
The biggest thing still yet to come. So stay tuned, everyone.
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, now in the next portion of our show, we're gonna have a very special guest, Gilbert. Let's welcome him in now.
Hey, knock on wood. Can we go thrift shopping?
What?
All right, Gilbert. So, how are things with you?
You know, man, things are going great right now. Just all these wonderful people around us in the United States, you know, it's just such a great atmosphere. I just love all these people and everyone who came out here today.
How did PEPFAR impact your life?
PEPFAR saved my whole life. So the story as I was a kid, I didn't have access to medication. My mother died of AIDS, and I was really scared of this disease when I found out that I had HIV. So PEPFAR came in, their doctors, they provided me the antiretroviral treatment, and they reduced my symptoms. The other thing that I found really comforting was that I was able to communicate and talk with other victims who are suffering of HIV and AIDS, and it's just really a comforting experience when you're not the only person going through, and that there's others that you can consult. And we need funding from everyone out here in the crowd and everyone watching at home on TV, so that we can help the many other people who are in Africa who need this treatment, because although I was one of the fortunate ones to be saved, there are many others who really need your help and they really need this medicine. So please take the time and the money to please donate. Thank you.
There you have it, America. Use this example of how PEPFAR has saved the life of a young man to motivate you to use your funds, your time, and give us your support. Because with all that, PEPFAR can make a difference for millions of other people. Alright, thanks for joining us. That's it for this episode. Please come back next week as we have our special guest star, Miss Wells, as she talks about her new puppy and taking naps with it.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finished. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid, I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering stale